Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Tribunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to the Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha in Mumukshu Prakarana, section 13. The topic is the first gatekeeper at the Palace of Liberation. Palace is before you, and the palace has 4 gates. If you befriend any one of the gatekeeper without bribing, no bribing, you have to have real sadhana. Befriend any one of them, the other 3 will join you. You remember the 4: Shama, serenity; Vichar, mind that reflects under the guidance of pure intellect to understand what is what; Santosh, contentment. Focus your mind to your spiritual progress without looking at others and where they are going and what they are. No comparison. It's deep understanding that God has given you all that is needed. Unfold it. So your starting point should not be on the basis of discontentment, that somehow I have been forced into a helpless situation. What can I do? Look at those people, how even though they are doing many ugly things and they are happier than me. If you have that type of attitude, you have not understood real spiritual movement. So that type of santosh, you are contented with what potentiality God has given to you. And on that basis, you are putting forth all your energy to awaken your inner dormant reality. And finally, the 4th is satsanga, good association. Allow your mind not to be associated with negativity. If you sit quiet and your mind is simply thinking of your past problems, and especially those things that annoy your mind, even though you are alone, you are not in satsanga. So run away from that type of loneliness. Go into some type of activity that will allow your energy to flow. So understand these points from a broader point of view. So now presently, focused on Shama, serenity. I've already explained to you, it's that state of mind that is not focused on gain and loss. What have I gained? What I have lost? But mind that is discovering that there is a deeper support for the mind. Mind itself is a wave sustained by the cosmic ocean of mind. And therefore, just like when you are crowded and you want to figure out what should be done, in Hindi language they say, ekant. Move away, leave me alone. Shama is that movement. Ekant. No past, no future. Relax your mind and discover a mystic space. But all this requires your integral practice of integral yoga. And it's a progressive attainment. No matter how much you may understand, and you may say, oh, I understand it. From tomorrow, nothing but serenity. To say that, it's perfectly okay. But this statement is called affirmation, making an affirmation, making a sankalpa, that's what I will. But with patience, you will have your sankalpa will fulfilled. But if you are not patient, then you have not understood the project. Yani dukkhani ya trishna duhsaya ye durasha durhadaya tat sarvam shanta chetassu tamorke shvisha shiva nashyati. All the miseries, all the cravings, all mental agitations, they come to an end if you have developed shama. Just as if 1,000 suns were to shine, there will be no darkness. You can believe it. One sun is enough, but 1,000 suns to shine. The idea is to understand that physical light does not dispel your internal darkness. So, mystically speaking, divine effulgence, the mystical light, if at all you are comparing with the sun, it will be million suns together. Allegorical language. Anyone who has, I'm talking about sagely personality, who has attained shama, serenity in a perfect manner, his very presence showers amazing grace on all around. All those who come into association with one who has developed serenity, they all become joyous, just like nature becomes joyous when the full moon showers its nectarine rays. Shama creates that type of mystic environment. That's what you study in the scriptures, how people with disturbed minds go to fight with sages. The story of Buddha. Inimical people with the idea of injuring Buddha and driving him away. They come to his ashram, but as they begin to come, they're surprised. A bear is playing with a deer. I'm making allegorical. And the environment was such tenderness. Kitty cat is looking at the bird for fleas. When they see all this, such tenderness radiating everywhere, and then they see whole assembly of people, 500,000 people, all seated, enjoying the presence of Buddha. And the mind becomes so filled with such tender joy that they forgot all about their animosity. All living beings trust their mother. They become educated. And when you go in the arms of your mother, you should act that way. I'm joking, but idea is nobody has to teach. It's instinctive. In the same way, all living beings come under the gracious influence in the presence of a saintly personality who has Shama. Just like you trust your mother without question. People visiting great sages, the very presence and atmosphere around makes all doubts move away. And that childlike love begins to develop, just like a childlike love for a mother. No arguments. You don't even start saying, these questions were there, and I have to receive the answers. You don't know what questions and what answers. You are already thrilled. O Rama, mind that is not enlightened, that mind is gripped by bhava-vyadhi, disease of the world process. Disease of the world process implies the soul goes on entering into embodiments, into the cycle of birth and death. That's called bhava-vyadhi. This is a disease. It's not reality of your soul. And that bhava-vyadhi gives rise to two diseases. Mental disease or adhi. Physical disease, vyadhi. The mind that is gripped by adhi, vyadhi, and the source of all disease, bhava-vyadhi. That mind is as if fettered by the ropes of craving. The only remedy for that mind is to find a bucket of shama-based nectar and sprinkle. It's an allegorical term. It allows practice of shama to enter the heart of a person. Treat all troubles by showering serenity, peace. But that will happen if your mind is enjoying profound shamas. Tulsi Ramayana gives you a very advanced picture of shama. Praying to Lord Rama, Tulsidas says, Prasannatam yana gatabhishekata, tathana mamle banavasa dukkhata, mukhambuja shri raghunandanasya me, sadastu sa manjula mangala prada. Which means that face of Rama that remained shining with serenity, that states prasannatam, the mind that is radiating joy. That radiating face of Rama that didn't become elated when he heard that he was going to be the king, the heir apparent to the throne. And very next day, when he is told that he was going to, he is banished into the forest. The face remains absolutely untouched, shining. That's the ideal serenity. Therefore, Rama is called Ramachandra. It's like the full moon shining, showering nectar. May that showering face of Rama, may that face bring to us every day a tender shoot of auspiciousness. The idea is, if you are developing Shama in your heart, you are bringing Rama's face. And how will you know it? Every day will be something auspicious. Not suspicious, auspicious. Whatever action, whatever work you do, accompanied by Shama, that's to say, whatever activity you are involved in the state of serenity of mind. If you are eating with a serene mind, food will give you amazing taste. You will begin to taste prasad of God. So you will not be complaining. How is it? I wanted cauliflower. They gave me tomatoes. Whatever work you do, that work will give you a sense of joy if the mind has serenity. That type of divine rasa, the divine taste, you will not find through anything in this world. All the pleasures, etc., do not give you that taste which emanates from serenity. When the mind is inundated by the nectarine sap, the nectarine juice of Shama, the joy that one experiences, the joy Yoga Vasishtha gives in a highly poetic way. Suppose somehow a limb in your body has been chopped off, someone has cut off your hand, and something within you, somehow a miracle takes place. Hardly you are going to face the shock of losing your arm. You see your arm is already there, healed, grown up, better than before. Imagine what type of joy there will be. Shama works exactly the same. If you don't have serenity, you hold on in your mind the injuries that you have suffered from the past, as if mind has been injured. And those injuries are all bandaged. So look back with so many bandages. I do remember this bandage caused by me. By this one, by that one. I'm so joking, but when Shama is there, look back, it's all flowers, blossoming flowers of divine love. Na pishacha na rakshansi, na daitya, na cha shatrava, na cha vyagra bhujangava, Vishanti Shamashalinam. One who has developed Shama, terrible pishachas with not lot of teeth, 2 teeth. They had horns. A terrible feature. That all the terrifying presence will not affect one who has that serene Shama. No Rakshasas, no demoniac force, no enemy, not even tigers and snakes. Of course, you have stories of saintly personalities who were thrown into a pit with a lion, with the idea of punishing the person. His personality was so tender. The lion comes and starts licking him up with great tenderness. So human heart has amazing influence, even on animals and birds. If you have put on the armor of Shama, you are well protected from all demoniac and inimical forces. Just like arrows cannot pierce a diamond. If you have Shama, you have put on diamond armor from toes to the head. It's all allegorical. All the idea is that all the adversities and frustrating situations will not touch you. That doesn't, it's what it implies, that you will be able to utilize adversity to your benefit, prosperity to your benefit. So you never view yourself being left desolate. People who have developed Shama, their personality becomes a source of immense joy and love. The joy that you get by looking at their divine personalities, that joy you don't get even while meeting with most loved ones of your relations. The dearest one does not give you that joy as Shama-based faith with cosmic compassion. Therefore, that's the ideal for a spiritual aspirant. Practice Shama in your life and understand you cannot have perfect Shama to begin with. But whatever step you take towards developing Shama, that every step will be meaningful, purposeful for your spiritual advantage. And Shama-based activities are praised by everyone. This world is always filled with negative and positive elements. But if you have Shama, mental serenity, all situations such as someone is giving abusive words, unpleasant to your ears, and another situation, someone is praising you with most lovely words, and your Shama-based mind remains well balanced. So that's in relation to listening. In relation to all your sense perceptions, sometimes things that to touch, they are gentle breeze comes. Sometimes you are touched by harsh breeze as well. Sometimes beautiful things come before your eyes, and sometimes ugly things. In other words, human mind and senses, they are placed in such a predicament that you cannot have always everything positive. It's always positive, negative, positive, negative. But if you have Shama, you have developed an amazing magical power, that you have internal joy that transcends ordinary concept of positive. So it is neither positive nor negative, it is divinely beautiful. Endowed with Shama, one becomes the master of mind and senses. His attitudes to all living beings becomes very profound. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. May all be happy. His attitude is not calculative, that let me help those who are good people and confine my prayers only for them, but not for those demoniac people. Let them go to hell. And see in the news someone suffering hellish torment, he deserves it. That type of attitude doesn't exist with Shama. You don't look at anyone or anyone's suffering as something that must happen for those people because they have done their karmas. But rather, you look at all that just like a mother would look at their children and their troubles. In simple way to understand, people who are considered very difficult people, terrible people, must realize they are suffering from terrible disease. If you have a compassionate heart, you want their soul to be free from that type of muck that is all over it. And humanity has to bring about that type of attention, how to cure people who are acting in a demoniac way, how to cure them. Of course, that's what the whole spirituality is. Valmiki himself was a thief to begin with, and yet he turned into a saint. Modern psychology is limited. Says some people can be cured, but some people cannot be cured. They must be shut down forever. I'm not going through that detail, but to understand, the heart of a sage has no animosity towards anyone. Any animosity is due to lack of sanamati, good understanding, clear mind. Because all are souls led by different karmas. And if at all, if you could, by your example, by your prayer, by your assistance, if you could help, awaken goodness in the heart of person, that would be the greatest thing, greatest blessing in your life. One who is endowed with serenity, sometimes he may encounter people who are filled with crookedness in their heart. But person who has serenity handles them in a totally different way. He does not radiate animosity or anger. radiates something so profound that touches their heart. It reminds me of Kabira's statement, जो तोकों काटा बुआ ताहि बोई तू फूल. तोको फूल के फूल है, वाको है तिरसूल. Those who plan to injure your personality, hurt you in a very poetic way, Kabira says, there is someone inimical who wants to give you injury and wants to enjoy seeing how injured you are. So what he has done, he has found a bundle of thorny plants and planted right in front while you are sleeping in your bed. Early in the morning, you are coming out and are going to be pierced by those. And the man actually does come out, gets pierced a little, and then he sees. And his mind, being wise and clever, understands that man has held animosity against me. So he has done this. I'm going to revenge on him. But a different type of revenge. Next day, when he is sleeping, he fills his garden with beautiful flowers, best petals. When the man comes out and he sees, and his feet become so soft and joyous as he touches those flowers, he also exercises his mind, realizes this is the enemy whom I wanted to injure has brought all this blessing to me. Now there occurs a subtle regret and repentance. That's what the statement says, Vakmo Hati Rasul. But that regret and repentance is not a real injury. By that he begins to change from being a wicked person to becoming a saintly person. And that's revenge. That type of revenge great people want. Facing different challenging situations. In a situation there is a lot of prosperity, jubilation, a situation where there is a lot of pathos, pain. Though he is there in that setting, and yet the body is there, but deep within they are far away in a world of calmness, in the ocean of peace. So being serene does not depend upon the external situations. The sky is not dependent upon clouds. Clouds can be of all types. The sky is always the sky. He who showers his goodwill on all, just like cascading waters in a waterfall, such a person is called Shant, one who has attained perfect serenity. Though serving people with very tender heart, one who has serenity does not become attached to people. Attachment, I'm talking in a worldly type of attachment. Living and moving in the world with a heart like the sky, untouched by raga and dvesha, attachment and hatred. One who is endowed with shama, he shines bright in all associations. Among us ascetics, he shines brighter than all ascetics. Among learned people, he is bright, brighter than them. Among performers of yajnas, kings, powerful personalities, in other words, one who has attained shama, he excels all concepts of greatness that human mind imagines. Shama is the climax of all your good qualities. Endowed with shama, one becomes free of all troublesome happenings of the world. Sankat. There's always, life is subject to so many troubles, and all those troubles have no meaning for one who has shama. And is also free of all types of fear. Therefore, adopt that path that allows you to develop increasing shama in your personality. Then we enter into section 14. The topic here is vichar. Vashishta says, O Rama, one must rid one's mind of doubts, negative imaginations, negative concepts, narrow-minded ideas with the help of satsanga, shastra gyan, scriptural knowledge. One must develop nirmal buddhi, intellect that is not affected by kama, krodha, lust, greed, conceit, and so forth, all the impurities. Intellect led by vichar becomes so subtle, intuitive intellect. And that intuitive intellect is a remedy, greatest remedy for the disease of the world process. Vichar implies being thoughtful. Thoughtfulness in different levels. Thoughtful in your daily life, what type of project you should handle, what you should not, what will be shreya and what will be preya. Shreya means that which enriches you in the long run and more abiding for you. Preya, that relieves you for a short time, but after relieving you, brings you down into a miserable condition. Working with the biggest stress in your mind, go to a drunken house, it relieves you. That's called prayer. But degrades you to such an extent that now you are a prey to by many more degrading conditions. So that type of intellect that brings the evaluation, what is right, what is wrong, in different levels in your activities, in your feelings, certain feelings have entered your heart, whether you should allow them or whether you should change them by different efforts, by your prayer, by your japa. You can make changes within your feelings, in your thinking process, in your association, in the choice of literature that you want to read, and many things, all things that you experience in the world. You have always a mental choice, choosing what is good for you and what is not good for you, and go after that which is good for you. That happens because of vichar. If vichar is not there, your mind is just animal mind. For crossing over the ocean of misery, there is no method greater than vichar, the mind that clearly understands, inquires into who am I, what is the reality, and that awakened mind that operates in daily life. Daily life, everything you are handling, there is a certain wakefulness in your mind. Whether I should engage myself into it or whether not. Vichar gives you, vichar is the source of strength, insight, what exactly to be done, ability, and needed energy and performance of right type of action. All come in line. These are the ducks. They must come in line. After great effort, aspirants develop vivek, the subtle understanding of what is real and what is not real. But hardly that vivek, the lotus of vivek, starts developing in the heart, that a big group of elephants symbolizing moha, forces of delusion, forces of infatuation, they come and crush that lotus. But if you have vichar, the moment those elephants come, the vichar roars like a lion. But no matter how many elephants are there, they all shake when a lion roars. All this allegorical story and give you also the joy of literature. In Sanskrit literature is called sahitya. Hit, doing good. So that literature that does good to your heart and enables you to do good to others, then such sahitya. Vichar enables your soul to attain the highest goal and becomes the basis for promoting all divine virtues. Vichar is like a kalpavriksha, the mystical tree that showers fulfillment for all your desires. Whatever you desire, you sit by a kalpka tree and it gives you. Vichar gives you all, because vichar leads you to understand you are not ordinary human being. You are the absolute self, Brahman. In that movement, all your desires become fulfilled forever. And with this, I'm going to conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.